What's up guys, Benny here and welcome to a brand new series on the channel, The Legends of Rebirth Island, where we break down the gameplay of the best Rebirth Island players so we can learn what they do in order to get the most amount of kills possible, whether that's new jump spots, the best weapons, all of that good stuff. And we have to start with the person who I think is one of the pioneers of the Rebirth Island content scene, and it is of course Faze Booya. He is an incredible player. He's won tournaments across Verdansk and Caldera and has completely torn it up on Rebirth over the last 12 months. And the first gameplay that we're watching with this series, we're always going to check out two gameplays using two different guns so we can kind of see how their different play styles adapt depending on the guns that they're using. And as you just see, right, either are popping up off left, right, and center using the Vargo in the first gameplay, using that stim to get away. If you do want to check out Booya, if you haven't already for some reason, his links will be down in the description. But I love this sort of gunplay right here as we get onto the top of Prison Roof. This is one of the best places to be for high kill games, and I love that right there. Hops on the mount, guarantees himself the down, then uses that airstrike in order to get the finish, just in case the player has a self-res, because there are so many self-reses in this mode, just because everyone starts with one, and also they're just everywhere and pretty easy to get. Holding that position proper perfectly, using different line of sights. He was a bit late on the reaction of that guy. You saw him push up in that initial three. Was very lucky not to kind of get taken out or pushed there, but managed to get the finishes off. Remember also, whenever you get those finishes and downs, remember to check out your mini-map every single time so you see the pulse, so you know how many players are left. Communicate that with your team if you haven't already, and also just where they are, so you know, should I be leaving this? Should I be rotating somewhere else? Like you saw that there when hunted, but sadly, right, that he's going to be gutted about that because he's wiped that squad, which means he's now limited to the amount of kills that he can get in the game. If you can get 3 players in a game of quads, always leave that person left up. Using this jump up on the side of prison, which I love. If you ever use that bit there, remember to go onto it from a sideways strafe, so you don't kind of like mantle over it and drop down to the bottom of prison. What I've noticed with the Vargo is he's mounting a lot to control the recoil, because you've got very fast time to kill with the Vargo, but it can bounce a little bit. And just there, nice little stutter shots just to kind of get the finish. Nice little bounce, does this. Holding these wide angles, using the communication tower as well. I do not see enough people use that on Rebirth at the moment. They just run past the towers for 1,500 to get continuous pings for about 12-15 seconds, I believe it is, of the local area. It's huge because you can then know if people are coming up behind you, if you've missed anyone. Very, very helpful. Like right there, he gets the 3 pings, knows he's in Grandma's house, and goes and push that. Keeping the Vargo. It's one of the most annoying things with those kind of like toxic rounds, and you have to, when the gas mask comes in, switch to the MP40, gets the guy downstairs because he heard him push up. He then disengages just because of the angle. He's waiting for the person to push. That precision airstrike coming in isn't great. Has to get inside. Knows this is a straight one. Slides away. That's what I do love about Booya's movement, though. He's got a great fade away. Like when he gets pushed, you'll notice he does it so much more than a lot of other players that I watch. But he will kind of like just double jump back, sort of like instead of slide canceling, and just time it perfectly. So just before his jump hits the floor, hits it again, so he bounces back. Makes incredible movement skill, to be honest. So something that you definitely should learn. Right, grabbing a UAV here, playing around Grandma's. Knows there's one person in here, uses a jump up. There's a couple jump ups there. Hits the stim very quickly to disengage. Very quick thinking. Like, one of the biggest ways to improve on Rebirth, in my opinion, it's one of the reasons I love watching top players, is learning all the different jump ups. Also, not going for the finish there. Changing the target acquisition so cleverly there. Like, he saw the person run downstairs, but saw the third. So he just knew that person was going to be a lesser risk unless he changed. So he was able to kind of isolate that fight into multiple 1v1s, rather than kind of like focusing on the person that he was aiming on. Quickly changing your target, so important. Up to 21 kills already, and unlocking that teleport camo. Nice. I'm so jealous of the atomic, though, I'm not going to lie. And he's once again rotated to top prison. And this is something I love to see, because it's actually really, really important for high kill games on Rebirth, is you need to kind of control certain areas where people are regaining, because killing people as they come back in is so much easier than fighting a squad that's kind of set. And that's why you'll notice most high kill games, everyone kind of operates within a certain area of the map. And this particular gameplay, Booya has been operating at kind of like prison and the kind of like grandma area. Once again, taking these guys out, using the cover just so he can have an advantage. Cracks the opponent and knows he can take advantage here because the other person's got a plate. use that SMG to close the gap down very quickly. Saw the guy flying in. Not going to just shoot him just yet because, honestly, spawn protection. There's no point until he's, like, close to the ground. You're just wasting your bullets. Tracks him in. It's a lot easier now. Straight away. Nice, easy kill. Gets that ping once again. Knows there's 2 up, so he knows he can push this guy and the person can still respawn. Listening out for those that footstep audio so he can figure out whether he was on the lower part. Must have been on the lower part. He got away. Gets a nice little ping. Smoke grenade. Knows he's got the crack. Using the audio cues very importantly. Doesn't worry about the guy on the floor. And I think this is a really important thing. So many people get down and go like, I must get the finish. I must get the finish. Whenever you watch these top players, that never, ever happens. Because, you know you've got time as well. And you know you've got about 6 seconds when you down someone if they've got a self-res till they can get back up. So you just got to play all those little mini clocks in your head. I really like this, though. Getting those shots off. Oh, the Vargo is so good, especially since they've changed the kind of immunity damage. Like, being able to beam someone out of the sky is so much easier than it was before. And that high fire rate that the Vargo gives you just allows you to do that. And perfectly pairing it with the close range MP40 build as well is really, really nice. Breaks this fight. Doesn't push. Knows his left-hand side safe. Using that UAV as well. Perfect. Gets the wipe. Now, we know he's got his king. He's got someone who's above him now as well. Once again, because of the UAV ping. So he's got 2 people above him and 1 person who's the king is just landing in. Using those audio cues is really important. Switch to the Vargo because there's a range. One of the reasons Amp's so helpful. See, once again, not getting the finishes, just prioritizing the people that are up. And then when they get the kind of like finish wiping the squad, you'll notice as well, they remember who they've downed first. And it's like I noticed Booya does really, really well. So they can make sure that they get them first so there's no chance that they get self-res taken out. Hitting the stem, just kind of push through. Sliding in. Nice and easy. Gets the guy on the plate. And honestly, what a way to drop 33 kills. Hitting that assassination to finish. Right, next game, we've got the Owen gun, which is arguably the best SMG in Warzone right now, especially on Rebirth Island, paired with the Kar 98K, which is the best aggressive sniper. Now, there's a whole ton of reasons for it. I also love that blue dot reticle, which I haven't unlocked myself, but I need to get it. Now, the Kar 98 is better than the Swiss, even though the Swiss is a high fire rate, but because of the way that the game's aim assist is built with Modern Warfare weapons, it's just far easier to get those drag shots onto and kind of abusing aim assist. A little bit different if you're a mouse and keyboard player, but Booya isn't, because the Swiss is probably a better option. But if you're using a controller, use the Kar 98. I'm quite excited about this because I know Booya is a very good sniper. It's something that I've been working on a lot myself, but still not to the same level. That blue dot is so clean, and you'll notice like how hard the aim assist kind of drags in a lot of these situations. And like the Owen gun just absolutely destroys everything in the game at the moment. Also, interestingly, he's running. I would say he's running restock, but he's actually got a specialist token from the bottom, so that's very helpful. He's got all the perks in the game, so we're going to be able to kind of like really abuse all the mechanics available, and the amount of UAVs coming in as well is going to help. Gets the crack on the opponent. Doesn't get that finish yet. I love how I picked up Booya sniping, and this particular game so far, it's not been incredible, but it's okay. He'll pull it up. Oh, God, I love Specialist. I love how they've, with the new updates, they've made it so much more accessible. Like, there's so much more kind of like strategy that you can add to Rebirth Island now, whether it's landing on particular blueprint weapons like the Milano at headquarters, or kind of going for the specialist tokens with the key cards. Look, come on, Booya, right? Yeah, I've bigged up your sniping. Perfect little waiting here, and he's missed the shot again. I'm just disappointed, right? I'm just sadly in this situation disappointed. I was expecting more. This actually might have been from when, you know, that day where you just had everyone had spawned in with specialists. That might be this game mode. Because everyone seems to have it. His entire squad has it, and the people that have all had tempered, so it very well might be. Okay, nice little disengage it. I think this is the important thing, is whenever you're in these situations, get your down, and then you need to move away and then pop up somewhere else. There's so many times I'll get into a gunfight where you're just like, why is this person just re-peeking every single time? He's getting quite unfortunate with these snipes, to be honest, and this is where they'll start racking up. When they start flying in like this, right, and you can just take people out of the sky, right? It's perfect shooting practice. One of the most satisfying things on Rebirth, because, you know, it's the only way to take people down quickly if they're coming in at the start of a game. And yeah, look at the amount of loadout drops here. This is why you can rack up so many. This is one of the best modes for April Fools. I absolutely love it, and it gives you a real good idea of like the gunplay and how people engage fights. So really interesting thing to watch as well. Okay, getting multiple pulses. Has to use those. Now he disengages here. This is perfect. And it's something I always say, well, the biggest advantage you can gain yourself on Rebirth or in Warzone in general is when you're getting shot at, if you just disengage and then set yourself up and wait, people are just so aggressive. They will run straight at you. And I guarantee you it, throughout this series, when we're breaking everyone's gameplay down, every player does it. They get their downs and they wait for the person to push, because then you eliminate that sprint to fire time that someone has. Getting a reload there, gets a finish, knows there's only one person left, isn't going to want to kill this guy straight away because you want to keep those squads up. So he's not rushing over the same way that he has in the past. Look at that. Nice little finish. Knows there's a couple people up above, so he can switch to the sniper to get these shots off. And this constant situational awareness is so important. And he's got to be careful now as well, because he's stacked with his entire team, so there is a risk of them getting wiped. So he's pushing down towards the chopper, which I do like. So he could potentially use this to reposition. That would be my personal play, though. He has seen this loadout drop get put in. Switches to that sniper once again. Perfect snipe practice. Gets the downs. Isn't too bothered about those finishes. Those pulses also tell him that he doesn't need to think about it. Has them in the build. Have the two in the building. And what did I say? He's going to use the chopper to rotate up and get the people up by grandmas. He could potentially get some easier kills down at HQ, which he's going to actually do, which is nice to see. But having that chopper just gives him the rotators, because if you're down at headquarters, it's so risky at times because you don't have any outs. If people are like kind of sat along that top seawall, you have to run into the open. The chopper's one of the best ways to disengage out of there. And it's always something to bear in mind. Pay attention to where the vehicles are on the map around you. They do massively help you. Right, here we go. Right, from the start, his sniping starts to pick up as well. And I know this is a high kill game, so I'm kind of excited for the end rounds here. And his chopper has just been robbed, but he managed to get the kill. It's very, very lucky there. It's always scary when someone lands, takes your chopper, and then just cuts you up, and you're just like, great. That is not what I wanted. It's important here because of the zone play. He knows in the next zone circle it's going to get moved. A lot of the time here, I just throw the chopper, which is what he's done. Just because you've got to the position, you don't really want to leave it. You've done the position, like the rotation that you need. Leaving the chopper up is just going to hurt you. You're not going to need it again. And now you can rotate in. Get shot in the back. The speed that Booya does that, right, is just instant. I think that's where I've noticed the biggest difference between top players and kind of like mid-tier players. It's the speed of the actions. Like, there is no hesitation between, all right, I need to stim here to get out, or I need to kind of close this door from like a movement perspective. There's so many little subtle changes. And I spoke about this on stream as well, my brother. It's just like speeding up everything you do, whether it's engaging fights, disengaging, going for rotations. Just try do everything a little bit quicker, and it will be the biggest improvement that you can have on your game. Trust me, just doesn't matter the situation, just speed everything up. All right, really nice down there. I'm loving this. Like, I'm jealous of his throwing knife ability. I just miss my throwing knives all day, every day. And I'm like, I'll get better at it. I promise it will happen. One day, it's going to happen. Nice little down, 21 kills. I told you, right? It's going to start racking up massively. His sniping was a bit cold at the start. Now, I want this blue dot. I actually, you know what? All right, when I get back from the States, I'm going to grind the blue dot. I need this. It's such a better optic compared to like the kind of like the circle one that I use, or the cross thread. Sometimes there are things in Warzone that's just worth spending that little bit of time to grind, as it's a small detail, but it really does help. All right, fire sale comes up now. It's always a great time to kind of rotate to a buy station and get as many UAVs as possible. But he's very cautious of that top HQ area, and as he should be, right? Because the only way he can get there is rotate. So my situation here, I'd maybe do like a super wide right rotation, and go up past Nova, or go wide left and go kind of like towards control, or just kind of sit at grandma's. Especially with his whole squad down here, he needs to play a little bit slower. It's very high risk. Managed to get that down and finish though. Knows the other people coming from control, so he can hold this position and rack up quite a lot of kills with just people having to run at him. Like, playing that gas line is so key, especially on these sort of rotations. Nice, using that airstrike. Oh, he gets taken down. Luckily, his teammates are back. And they didn't get him. Just one of those things, right? Rebirth Island, I'd always suggest this. If you haven't, right, if you get downed and your squad's not near you and you know it's not 100% safe, just give up, right? You're gonna come straight back in, and it's gonna help your team out a lot more. Okay, 2 pulses here. Takes up a strong position and is listening for those audio cues, which I really, really like here. Love playing. Audio is so important. Like, I played a few games with reverse audio, and like, honestly, everything went out the window, and just reminded me how important audio is to like make every single decision in this game. Nice little rotation, using those restock stims just to be able to get out of there. I'm loving this. Okay, perfect snipe again. Getting those first picks helps so much. It's one of the reasons I think snipers are, in general, one of the most powerful things, but especially if you're in like a 1v3, 1v4 situation, because you can get those instant picks that kind of can sway a fight in your favor. Circle's quite tough here. He does want to rotate to the right and kind of get the kind of lower living building quarters under control, because that's where he's going to get all the majority of the kills now, especially as everyone has to rotate in from top HQ. Uses the stim, closes it down, listening for those audio cues the whole time. And I bet you he goes for one of these rooftops. Like, I've not watched this gameplay before. I guarantee you he tries to get on top of one of the rooftops just so he can hold this kind of push a lot easier. It's a little bit risky before the circle starts collapsing because people could hold and take him out quite easily. So he's doing the right thing. Nice. Oh, mate, he just got double sniped. Oh, he's reversing this. He's going for the high ground first. Super wide rotation, edge of the circle, and comes in with the gas. I love this play. Okay, he's had his plates cracked. Does a nice little kind of side peek, just so he can has that time. Gets him on. Surprised he went for the finish on the down person first there. Could have got, like, against a better player there, that he could have got taken down. That was very high risk. Oh, what a shot. That's actually beautiful. Okay, straight away. Nice. 34. Sees the guy behind him now. So he knows he's coming in from behind. And he's getting shot from up top. Okay, this is high risk. Okay, does low rotation. Just so he can get those plates on. Hugging the cliff so it's like kind of minimizes the routes that he can be seen from. 35 kills. Still 5 other people left up. He knows there's a couple people coming in from the right-hand side. So he's going to prioritize these first. Perfect. Fade away with jump shot. This Owen gun just doesn't lose in those situations. All right, 4 other people left for him to take out. Using those stims because he's got restock. Okay, perfect. Knows there's 2. Oh, that's very high risk. High risk, high risk. Okay, needs to be careful here. He's in a really bad way. Like, right now, because he doesn't have a gas mask, the routes that he can take and minimize. But I'd be kind of like looking to go wide left and not stay in the open. Oh, God, he got taken down by the guy on the roof. That's so unlucky. He's got 37 kills as well.
No,
and they've lost. That was some incredible gameplay from Booya. Make sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below and subscribe if you're new. And go check Booya out as well. But that was some awesome gameplay.